Welcome to YouTube land, Facebook land. This is your friendly neighborhood PRE, Mr. Justin Tyler, here with our head of school CEO and also the head of all Qatar gym schools, Mr. Mark Lentz. We are here today to talk about the Qatar's high school equivalency diploma and how it impacts Gyms American Academy. And so we can let our high school parents know what this is, what they can expect, and how we can be a resource to you as families, right? As staff members to families. So without further ado, I'm going to let Mr. Mark introduce himself and get right into the subject at hand today.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for attending. If you're not able to attend, I guess if you're not able to attend, you're not going to hear this message. But we are going to record this, and Justin will have the links. So if you know of anybody that, if you are attending and you know of somebody who isn't here, or you talk to somebody about it and they say, "Oh man, I wish I had known about that," they can always go to the YouTube links and look up the videos. And honestly, Justin and I were joking about it. There is the potential for this to be the shortest StreamYard live stream that we have done, because honestly, it's a pretty simple message and it's not very complicated and it's not really that impactful for you or your students. But I just wanted to take a few minutes and try and explain it to you, because if you're seeing information about this in the news or being posted by the MOE or by Qatar universities, it could be confusing if you don't understand exactly what it is that they're saying. And I don't want you guys to be confused, and I don't want fine. And we have great plans in place so that your kids would still be able to get into a Qatar university if they wanted to. The whole Qatar equivalency diploma really only pertains to those students who want to go to a Qatar university. So if your child is not interested in attending a Qatar university, then whether they're Qatari or from any other or any other nationality, if your plans are to go to the US or to England or anywhere else in the world, then really this doesn't impact you in any way, shape, or form. It doesn't change anything about your child's course of study in the school. But Qatar universities come up with some requirements around American diplomas and other diplomas that they require in order to get in. And we want to make sure that everybody understands that. And I think for us as an American school, it's slightly more complicated, only because we don't have the built-in national curriculum exams that you tend to have from the national curriculums in Indian curriculum schools or British curriculum schools. And so it's not uncommon that universities in this region who have a little less experience with American curriculum schools will, and in a way, this is a positive step forward, because we've seen situations over the last couple of years where Qatar University would ask our graduates, well, what were your score in your national exams? We don't have national exams. Well, how can you not have national exams? Because they don't have national exams in American curriculum schools. Well, did you graduate? Yes. And we've had to provide letters and proof and explanations, and I've had meetings, and we've been to the MOE. I've been to Qatar universities to explain this. All of our kids have always gotten in, but I think this is an acknowledgement on their part to come up with a standardized way moving forward so that all students know what they need to do. While we don't have national exams, we do have AP exams that are similar to IB schools with IB curriculum and IB exams. There's a slight difference in that there are those IB schools out there that require the full IB diploma. That would be an easy one for those students. There are those IB schools out there that don't require the full IB diploma, and those schools would be in the same situation that we are in, because while APs are offered, they're not required. And the Qatar University would look at those AP courses as that national curriculum. So essentially, the new requirement says you need a minimum of 2 equivalent national exams, and they will take SATs for that, The SAT test is through the College Board. That is an American organization. It is what American students use to get into American colleges. Qatar University understands that, but they want something else other than that. Traditionally in America, that's all you need. So we've explained to them that there is another exam quite similar to the SAT in America called the ACT. These historically go back far enough when we were an old enough country that you didn't have mass communication and colleges existed in different regions, and typically the northern regions used SAT and the southern states used the ACT. Over time, they've become a bit like whether or not you use a PC or a MacBook. They're doing basically the same thing. Most universities in the United States would now accept either, but there are two nationally recognized tests that you can take in America that are recognized by US colleges. So one option for your student, if your student says, I don't want to take APs, and you don't want your student to take APs, no problem. You still don't have to take any APs at all. If you choose to get into Qatar University, they would require you to then T and the SAT, submit both your scores, you get into Qatar University. If you don't want to take both, you could take one of them and one AP course at some point over your 4 years while you were here. If you didn't want to take either the SAT or the ACT, you would simply need to take 2 AP courses over the course of your entire 4 years that you're here. So it's pretty simple. They want 2 external, and I don't blame them for requiring this, right? I know we're a great school. You know we're a great school. And the GAAQ has put its stamp of approval and said we're a great school, but they want another source of external validation that your students' grades are legitimate other than the GAAQ and our internal grading policy. So they will use APs, SATs, or ACTs, and you need any combination of 2 of those. Justin, did that make sense to you, hopefully?
It did. Especially the part where you talked about taking 2 APs if you don't take the SAT or the ACT. That's something that's a new wrinkle that I haven't heard before. But essentially, it's just what we have to do as a school, in Qatar. And so just another way that we can validate, our rigorous college program, right? A high school program going into college. And we do have one of the most rigorous programs in the country for American curriculum. And this is something else we do have to do, So I think you explained it very well, Mr. Mark.
Yep. So again, in summary, this only pertains to you if your child is going to a Qatar university. It does not mean your child has to take APs, although we encourage all kids to take. I believe the one advantage AP has over IB and some of the other curriculums is I believe every kid has a strength, but not all kids are strong in every different subject, right? Your kid might be great at math and not good at English. They might not be good at math or English, but they might be an amazing artist. And we offer APs in each of those courses. So I always encourage kids, it looks good on a college transcript, pick the area that you're most passionate about, that you're the most successful in, and try and take at least 1 or 2 AP courses while you're here. That said, there are rare times when we'll encourage a student not to take an AP course because colleges look at GPAs. And if you're already struggling with your GPA and you don't have a particular subject that you are strong in, it might make more sense to not take an AP course and really just focus on that GPA. And that would still be fine if that's your kid. If they want to get to Qatar University, they just then take the SAT and the ACT. So as I said at the beginning, really not a big deal. Really easy for us to walk you through. And at this point in time for all of our kids, it doesn't mean that you need to rethink anything or change any plans. You just keep doing what you've been doing. And when you get to where you're applying to colleges, we will walk you through it if you want to get to a Qatar University. But I just thought there's a lot of news about this right now, and parents might be wondering what it means. And I didn't want you to be concerned or confused.
Yeah. Thanks, Mr. Mark. I think that was simple enough. And as you all know, if you have any additional questions, we do have principals in high school that can talk to you about this as well. And that can help answer any additional questions you have, as well as our guidance counselor who's dedicated to not only the career aspect, but the college application process. So we'll be covering you on all levels if you have any additional questions. I think I'll take this time, Mark, if you allow me to just make some few news and updates.
Yep.
Use it as a platform so families can understand what's coming up before we go on our break. So I'll do that. And so, first thing first, families, thank you immensely from the bottom of my heart from coming out to our recent spring music festival. It was the first time we've ever done a spring music festival, and it really turned out pretty well. And it wouldn't happen like that unless the parents were supporting it, because you told your friends to come out. You brought some friends, to the event as well. You promoted it. You supported it. I've seen a lot of people tagging our school with different pictures and videos from the event. And so again, you are our biggest ambassadors. And from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate, the full support of the program. I really hope that, you had a chance to give us feedback as well, because we did include a link to Facebook. And if you just told me in general, I really appreciate all the feedback we received. So thank you. That's the first thing first. The second thing, I want to get into some of the other announcements for the week. We have a big book fair going on of books that are not only in English, but also in Arabic as well. So if you're interested to buy books for your children or even for yourself, we have the book fair in our atrium area. So as soon as you come in, you can't miss it. Okay. So make some time today to come in, see the books, and you have until Thursday, end of school, to buy any books that you want. All right. So until Thursday, these are the same vendors that were there at the Spring Music Festival. They're just here for the rest of the week, so you can buy books at your discretion. All right. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, I'm reading off a screen here. Just want to make sure. So the second thing is the parent-teacher conference, which is tomorrow. All right. So if you have scheduled any meetings or a meeting with your teacher, this will happen tomorrow anytime from 3 to 7 p.m. This is an in-person parent-teacher conference. So you can book online, right, your schedule of who you want to talk to in terms of teachers. But this is an in-person, front-facing parent-teacher conference from 3 to 7 p.m. Also want to let you know, if you're in grade 11, if you're a grade 11 parent, there also will be a workshop by our guidance counselor for high school, Miss Ng. She's going to talk a lot more about the college university process, recommendation letters, goal setting, the Unifrog platform, all these different things that pertain to your grade 11 students. And so you want to come out to this event. This will be from 5 to 6 p.m. on the same day as the parent-teacher conference, which is tomorrow, March 7th, okay? 5 to 6 p.m. In the email that I sent to you about a couple days ago, you'll see a link that says College University Parent Workshop. Just click on that link and just do us a favor and just register so we know how many parents we can expect at that workshop, all right? What else is going on? So other than that, I think there is a Tdap vaccination going on Thursday, March 9th. This is for grades 10 through 12. This is not mandatory, right? You do have an option to do this or not. But yesterday was the last day for you to give any forms in to the nurse. And so anyone who has given forms into the nurse to consent for this vaccination, it will happen on Thursday, just for your knowledge and information, on Thursday, March 9th, for grades 10 through 12 students. All right. And then the last thing I wanted to let you all know is that we are having a break coming up. There will be some time to not go to school. So this is a wonderful thing for our students. Maybe for the parents, could be wonderful as well to hang out with your family, things of that nature. So this will be from March 12th on Sunday all the way through March 16th. So that next week, we will not be here for school. You will finally come back into school Sunday, March 19th, inshallah. So you'll come back at that time. But next week, please don't show up to school. Please do something else, with yourselves at that time, as we will be off for midterm break. So hopefully that's understood. Mr. Mark, any other things I'm missing? Anything you wanted to emphasize before we head out?
No, I think you summed it up great. Always great to see all you guys live. Even more exciting to see you guys in person. So I hope there's lots of you guys here tomorrow night. We're excited to see you guys on campus again. Yeah, and thanks for listening, and I hope this was helpful.
Yes. On that note, ma salama, salute to you all. Have a great Monday and even a better rest of the week.